the interpreter flying. Kenny, do you want to put the headphones in?
What do I do?
Yeah, I'm on, please. Please, yeah, do this. It's already used by the other provider, so it's with this one.
Thank you.
Is that all right? Okay. Yep, Adrian.
Hey Kenny, commiserations on tonight. Can I ask what you made of the performance tonight?
It was good at times. Times it wasn't so good, but there were periods of the game where we matched them, and that's a good sign that we're making slight progress. In fact, we're making massive progress if you look where we've came from. So Austria are an established nation in women's football. We're beaten in the semi-finals of the last tournament in penalties. They've got a fantastic academy, the best in Europe. Most of their players play in the Bundesliga. In fact, nearly all of them. I think all of them do, apart from the goalkeeper who's at Arsenal. So they're very upper in comparison to us. And for us to match them for so long brings some comfort to me, because I'd never have dreamed when we took over that we could match Austria in a game and feel that we could possibly have got something. I think the best team won on the night, but I felt we got close to them and for quite a period of the game.
Is it a game where you can take a lot from, if not the result then?
Yes, we can, because the development processes are to improve what you have, and that's what we're trying to do. If we can improve to get better and then gradually work our ways up. You know, we had 5 to 10 years, I felt was a good process. We're only 3 years into it, and we've gone to this level far too quickly, as you can see, and we now have to re-establish ourselves and start to look at how many development players we can bring in on top of what we have.
Just one last one from me. You seem to have the players together at the end for quite a while. What were you saying to them at the end?
I didn't think it was quite a while. I thought it was moderate enough. We just spoke about, you know, how we had done and how we would try to get better and how we would work more on our self-belief, and it would give us a better chance of winning games.
Kenny, hi.
Hi.
Does it obviously it feels very much like the end of this particular journey, barring you know, some results. How do you deal with that? And you've obviously got a few days left before the England game, so it's going to be a curious time, or what's your?
Yeah, it's disappointing when you're playing to try and you know, something to play for. Obviously, when you're playing against England, it's a big fixture. I was told not to take a friendly last year, was advised not to, and we took the friendly at St George's, and we lost it. We lost the game well, and we after the match, our players were getting their autographs of the England players. That's just over a year ago. What a massive change we've made to our own self-esteem and to our own self-belief. So certainly it's a game where England will be expected to win, and to win convincingly, and we have to put out a project in place where we can, you know, match them in certain parts.
Well, could you just explain the tactics, Kenny? It appeared Marissa Callahan. She was almost like playing as a centre forward there. I mean, was it a case of containing Austria and then see where you could take it from there? Was that the kind of broad?
We played Marissa there because she makes runs in behind. She gets involved in the build-up play. We'd a young striker who's not just ready to come in, and certainly it was the right thing to do. And Marissa gave a really good account of herself.
Hi Kenny, I was
Hi.
just wondering about Jackie Byrne's performance again. You know, obviously conceded 2 goals, conceded 4 the other night, but she looks brilliant, doesn't she?
Seriously? Well, right. She came for some crosses and did really well in that department. The wall wasn't set up right. Again, that's 2 in a row. You know, she needs to. Her distribution was a bit better tonight. That was good. But I don't want to be talking about individual players. When we don't want. I spoke to him a bit before the game about making mistakes. It's not. If you make mistakes, you learn. But if you make them in every match, then you've got an issue. So we have to be careful there with some of our players.
What will your advice be to her then ahead of the England game? Will it be the same message you've told her before the other 2 games?
Yeah, well, England and Norway have been perceived as the 2 best teams in the group. So, if not the best, if England are the best, then that's going to be tough. It comes across that they're the best team in the group. So, we'll know better tonight after they play Norway, but it's probably going to be our toughest game.
Yeah, will you have any words for Jackie ahead of that one, or
Any what?
any words of advice for her ahead of that game?
To Jackie?
Yeah.
Yeah, to try and keep a clean sheet.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Kenny. How much do you think the heat played a factor today?
Same for both teams. I think it maybe affected us more, possibly. I'm not sure. I think it was ferocious in the first half of the match, and it died down a little bit in the second. But yeah, I think our players suffered more than them. But it didn't have an impending factor in the game. But I felt it was tough for our girls tonight in that heat.
And compared to the match in April, the World Cup qualifier, what were the biggest improvements that you've seen from that night in the performance today?
I thought we had more of the ball today. We were patient. We let them come on to us, and we had some good counter-attack play. We didn't want to open up too soon because they've got better players than us. So if we open up too early, then we get an unassailable job to do to get it back in. So it was hard, really hard for us tonight. But I felt there were periods when we looked like we were going to get an equaliser, and I brought on the development players because it's more important to me that we develop players than get a draw against Austria. So I had to make a sacrifice in that.
The bigger picture is something that's always talked about with this Northern Ireland team. Do you think that's case in point when it comes to looking, for the next qualification campaign and maybe even the next tournament?
What's that?
In terms of the younger players that you brought on, like Caitlin.
Yeah, they're going to have a part to play in our next tournament, most definitely, yeah.
Hi. How encouraged were you that after quite a difficult first 20 minutes, you didn't fold and you got a foothold in the game, didn't you? And you often see a team, especially an inexperienced team at this level, can collapse after 20 minutes like that. But you steadied the ship, and that must be really encouraging.
Yeah, thank you. I have to say you're right there. We did tiptoe a little bit at the start because we didn't want to open up, and that was our plan, and we succeeded in that. Apart from not putting the wall up right for a set piece. It wasn't set up right. A left-footed player had only one place to put it. It was quite similar, happened in our last game. So I thought we'd address that, and that's when you get angry, when you talk about it before the game. And so that's really all they had to offer in the first half. There wasn't a lot of intense pressure. There was crosses wide and things like that, but my goalkeeper hadn't got much to do, really. A couple of, if she'd have let any of them in, would have been disappointed. So some of her saves were, bog standard saves, and it pleases me that we restricted them to that. Yeah.
Any more? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is that me?